Coming to you live from the Jersey Shore via satellite. This is Tim Blunt, Smoking Mirrors. Well, as they can see, we're back and better than ever.
We're back, folks. Yep, we're back. To all the non-believers, all the haters, to the fans, we're back.
Alright, well, before we get started,
tonight,
there's a couple things we gotta say. First, we've taken the show on the road for this week. As we said, we're on the Jersey Shore, partying and up.
Oh, yeah.
Haven't seen Snooki, though.
Yep. No sight of her. We've been to all the clubs and all the hot spots around, and I'll tell you, I wouldn't come visit here again, no matter what they paid me. But that's another story.
I have one little big announcement. For all of our fans out there, I want them to do one thing. They're having a Madden 2012 vote on who would be the cover boy. First time ever we could vote on the cover. And we want Peyton Hillis of the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, please put your vote on Peyton Hillis of the Cleveland Browns for Madden 12 cover.
I believe that it's on ESPN.com, so please go and vote. Alright, we got that out the way. We got to start the show. Monday Night Raw tonight, 2 weeks before WrestleMania. You would expect big things. Build up the storylines, big matches. I see you're in the WrestleMania spirit. You got your 2 cups there.
Yeah, we got these special collector's edition cups that I've had since 2001, featuring Triple H, The Undertaker. Back then, I never thought this match would be going down at WrestleMania. It was one of the biggest matches of all time, so we're waiting for that, just like everybody else. And with that being said, let's get Raw underway, which it had its moments. There was a couple good parts and some dull parts of the show, so that's pretty much it. And show started off, good old JR's theme music playing, and so I was excited, and I thought Jim Ross was going to come down and call the matches for the night. Then Michael Cole, finally, for the first time, I could say he did fool me, till I seen who it was. And he looked funny, man, dressed up as JR and quoting some of JR's quotes, and it is probably one of the highlights of Michael Cole's career. And so after that, he went into his little coal mine and whatnot, and he said something that, he threw his hat that he was wearing at Jerry, and Jerry was almost ready to get him, and Todd Grisham, you know how he is. Oh, no, King, you'll get him in 13 more days. It ain't worth it. And so Michael Cole got in the coal mine and said he's going to do his job like he always says, and that was pretty much it. Then Triple H entrance hits, and he comes walking down, and I'd say the crowd gave him a pretty big response. I'd say since they were closer to Triple H's hometown, being in Pittsburgh tonight, he had more of the fans on his side than The Undertaker. And so he comes out, he pretty much talks about the match at WrestleMania, and then DiBiase decides to make an appearance and come to the ring after that and says that he ain't been treated right lately. Just a year ago, he was one of the biggest rising stars, fighting Orton at WrestleMania. Told Triple H how would he feel if he took him out right now before WrestleMania. But that didn't happen. Triple H ends up busting him up with a chair and giving him a good old-fashioned pedigree on the announce table. It was a pretty good one if you missed it. So I went to a commercial break. Came back from the commercial break. Sheamus is standing in the ring with his new USA title. And of course he fights old Evan Bourne again. And the match wasn't too long. Evan Bourne got a couple moves in. Sheamus did a few moves. Just when you thought Sheamus was down and out, Evan Bourne goes up to do his finisher. I think Sheamus, what did he do? He rolled out the way of that finisher.
I think so, yeah.
Ain't that correct? He rolled out the way, and then when he got up, Evan Bourne was still just trying to get up from after doing his finisher and got floored in the head by that vicious boot that Sheamus does, and that was a lit for little Evan Bourne. So after that, the old Superman music hits. I'm pretty sure that's the music Daniel Bryan's using. And Daniel Bryan comes and gets in the ring with Sheamus after his match and says he would like to invoke his rematch clause at WrestleMania. I don't know if Sheamus was going to face him at WrestleMania, but he threw the title belt at Daniel Bryan. Bryan went to catch it. As he was doing that, Triple H floored him with that vicious boot and walked back up the entrance ramp screaming he's the champion of the United States. He is your champion of the United States of America. So I think that was pretty cool because him not being from America, and he was giving America a lot of props and seemed like he was proud to hold that belt, which I thought was pretty cool. So we had another commercial break after that. And then it was Maurice and Eve. Eve, the Divas champion. The match wasn't too long. Once again, Michael Cole stands up in the middle of the match and gets on the mic and says that hurry up and get the match over with and
I have
stuff
something to
like
say
that.
about that. I mean, the Divas division these days isn't very entertaining. But when your own company is basically just burying the division itself, that's not good.
Yeah, by getting rid of the women's championship belt, and I don't know, lately it seems like there hasn't been many divas even in the locker room these days. I don't know if it's because of the whole thing when they kind of went PG, they probably weren't allowed to show off their bodies as much or something like that, so it made maybe a lot of them go pursue other careers they might have been chasing during the time before they came to WWE and things like that. So anyways, Eve wins the match. She got off some move that looked like she learned from one of the Hardy Boys or something. It was similar to a twist of fate or a twist of hate, whatever you want to call it these days. And after that match was over, Eve went and tried to attack Cole while he was in that stupid coal mine. Of course, his little security he has out there, he's telling them to get her out of here. And after that, they went to another commercial break. come back on. What was pretty interesting, during all the commercial breaks, every time they came back on, it was like the wrestlers were pretty much already in the ring, whoever the first wrestler was going to be. So it was the tag champs, and of course I'm pretty sure all you guys know who they fought again. Santino and Kozlov again, which was a very short match again. Didn't last long. And I knew it wasn't going to last long because Santino went for the Cobra pretty early in the match. But when you got the core outside of the ring, it pretty much handicaps anybody from winning. So they picked up the win again. Went to give Santino and Kozlov a beatdown. Ezekiel Jackson, Wade Barrett, Heath Slater, Justin Gabriel, the core. And I guess on SmackDown, they've been feuding with Kane and the Big Show. So everyone remembers back a while, Kane and Big Show was a tag team, pretty dominant tag team. It was good to see them two guys back together since the tag division is pretty much there ain't many tag teams around, so that's why I guess Santino and Kozlov keep fighting the core, because there ain't no tag teams. That division is it's sad to see what's happened to that division in the tag teams. So once again, core wins the match. Big Show and Kane come down to the ring, and it was destruction of the core. I mean, they took it to them, left them in a pile of stairs and tables and chairs. It was awesome. That was like the first big highlight of the night. That was. So then we went to another commercial. They come back. They claim Cena is via satellite. Now,
like we are right now.
But I thought, yeah, but we're really via satellite. These guys, you hear during Cena's interview, for some odd reason, you hear the crowd chanting Cena sucks. Now, if Cena's at his house up in Westbury, Massachusetts, or wherever it is that he stays, and they're in Pittsburgh, and you can hear everyone screaming Cena sucks, I'd say you'd have to have even the whole United States yelling and probably wouldn't be able to hear that. So I knew he was in the building. That pretty much gave that away and destroyed that segment, whatever they were really going to do, which sets up for what happens later in the program, where I think they tried to cover that up. And we'll get to that later on. So, after the Cena skit is over, Cole tells everybody that he has an announcement about Jerry Lawler again. This time he says he's got pictures of Jerry Lawler's family, and so he brings them out, starts showing them, talks bad about Jerry the King Lawler's dad, his mom, and the guy who showed up last week, Brian Christopher. Some of you know him as Grandmaster Sexy. And so he calls his whole family losers. So the King lost his cool after that. Went to attack Cole, but of course Jack Swagger was right there. King got a couple moves in on Swagger, but after that, I mean, they pretty much got the old guy, and he had to suffer another ankle lock.
We thought Sexay was going to come out and help Lawler, because Cole called him an idiot and a loser, right?
He called him an idiot. Or no, he called him a loser. So, I don't know if Brian Christopher is going to return at WrestleMania to help his dad and have them reunite, which I think would be a real cool thing to see. I've always been a fan of the King. I've always been a fan of his son.